Okay, I want to talk about the vibration feature on your e-collar versus the stimulation feature. All dogs that come through training are conditioned to both. And the reason that I do that is because I like to have different methods of communication, and sometimes using your vibrate button, which is this black button. It's the single black button on this side of your e-collar. If you're looking at your remote, it is on the right side. And on the left side, you have your levels of stimulation. The black one is momentary, and the red one is for continuous stimulation. Continuous meaning you hold that button down and until you release it, the dog is feeling stimulation. Now remember, this is important. Just because your dog feels stimulation doesn't mean you're shocking the dog. You're communicating at a level that's fair, kind of like tapping them on the shoulder, okay? And that's how you get their attention so they can focus on what you are wanting from them, whether you're trying to stop a behavior or you are telling them to do something. You're calling them to you, or you're telling them to lie down and stop barking, or whatever it is. Sometimes people will begin to rely on vibrate only. And that the reason I don't really use this too much with my clients is because when you use vibrate only, you're never at a correction level. You cannot increase or decrease the stimulation on this particular unit. So it's just a vibration sensation. You can't increase or decrease it. And so at some point, if you're always using this, the dog becomes used to it and is like, meh, I don't care about that. On the other hand, if you are using your stimulation, okay, that you have 100 levels from which to work. So 1 being the lowest, 100 being the highest, and that would be for a really high drive dog, or, under some circumstance where it's chasing a deer or something, think of that. So the higher the excitement level in the dog or the arousal, the higher the numbers that you can, work with. But mostly you're going to be working with your lower numbers because it's been taught to the dog properly, okay? And they understand those lower numbers, but also they're conditioned to when you go to the higher numbers as well. So when you are trying to stop jumping or counter surfing, barking or whatever, and the dog is really dug into that behavior and they are not stopping when you give them a verbal command, you can increase your levels of stimulation. And you want to do that. The reason you want to correct the dog and go up on a little more stimulation, increase it, is because a correction tells the dog, stop it, and stop it for good. It makes it a motivation. If you go to a higher level, it's uncomfortable. And sometimes people are uncomfortable about doing that with their dogs. But if you understand why you're doing it, listen, I don't know of a dog trainer personally that likes to give a correction. All right. I don't personally like to do it, but I will do it to get to that next level of behavior. And so then you need to do that with your dog. You need to go to those higher levels where they are a correction or a punishment. Okay. It's just a word. It's not a bad thing. It's in the moment. As soon as you let go of that correction level, as soon as you let go of that button, the stimulation's gone, okay? But you've sent a message to your dog, kind of like scruffing them. It's almost like, hey, I'm trying to get your attention. Don't run into the street. Don't run towards the door to try and escape the house. Don't go after the other dog in the house, whatever it is, okay? But that's the difference between vibration and stimulation. I taught your dogs on the stimulation primarily, and that's what you should be using. But you also have this nice little vibrate feature that you can use periodically, but don't get hung up on it because you think it's less punitive. This is not punitive at all when you're using it at communication levels, and sometimes you must use higher levels to correct and stop behaviors.